We go. Mayor Don Darling, after two trials of technical issues on both of our ends,
That's right.
we are here. Thank you for joining me on the newly formed Hemmings House Daily, which is, I don't know how long we're going to do this, but every single day I've been speaking to our friends, our family, our customers, and now the mayor of our city, St. John, New Brunswick. So thank you, Mayor Darling, for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Greg. Yeah, thanks for staying connected and for bringing great content. There's been a lot of change in our community. When did all this start? It seemed like 3 years ago, but I think it was only 3 weeks. So we're all learning a lot.
I was like literally, 4 weeks ago? It was March break. Would you say 4 weeks ago?
Yep.
And then I was hanging out here. I was in Cuba. And then I literally, Don, did not have internet there because I was too cheap. I didn't want to spend the $40 US a day to get it. And when we came home, we had no idea any of this was happening. So our 1 week away during March break, we came home, learned that the kids couldn't go to school. We were all confused. And really, we've been, sitting virtually ever since. But at least we got backgrounds like this,
Fantastic.
to enjoy. So one of the things I like to do on these discussions is just check in and see how our friends are doing. And so on both, personal and on business, leading a city through all this. But how are you making out? Is this, are you plowing forward, or is it, how are you doing?
Yeah, look, I from a perspective of living values, you and I know each other. You've heard some of my, you've invited me to chat with some groups in the past. I would say doing fine. It's an unprecedented time. Not stress. Stress is not what I'm feeling right now, Greg, but I am feeling some uneasiness. And it's just, I'm extroverted. I like social interactions. I like being busy. I've learned I miss going to my coffee shop a couple of times a day. I'm feeling, I suppose I would say I'm hurting for our community right now, socially, economically. There's uncertainty. So I guess what I'm putting out there is that you can be a leader, and you can be strong, and you can be working every day on recovery, and you can be not sleeping at night and feeling uneasy. And so, I, as a leader who's extroverted, who's in touch with and connected to my values, who embraces vulnerability, I'm at a balance right now, Greg, and it's a bit of new territory for me.
Yeah, and probably for the first time ever, you say those words and you can pretty much understand that almost everybody's feeling the same way, which is, I think for me, was the interesting part. It's in a very bizarre way. There's comfort in knowing that people in Japan are feeling the same way as people in South Africa, as in Cuba. Like everybody's experiencing this right now. Everybody.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but perhaps this is a time in our history. I mean, I'll be 50 this summer, so I don't remember anything like this, certainly in my lifetime. Perhaps it was the war in the past, but that's something that globally, there's no country or there's no region that isn't going through this. Yeah. So in a strange way, we're bound together by working through COVID-19 and recovering from COVID-19. And I think the world will be forever different. And it's up to us, Greg, to see how, you and I and thousands, millions, trillions like us, billions like us, to figure out, is the world going to be better, the same, or worse?
And, many people who love and care about me, accuse me of being an optimist, and that's okay. That's completely okay, because it really is it's a worldview that keeps me smiling every morning. Right. And I have been looking at a lot of I fully understand the weight of the destruction that's happening right now, but also, like, is this going to be the change that our economy has been waiting for to finally, become an experience that has a shared prosperity for all? Maybe Mother Earth is going to be able to breathe a little bit more, and maybe we can continue to look at, growing our businesses in ways that we don't have to be on airplanes every day. Or I'm excited in a way to see if we listen to the messages given to us right now, if we listen and act accordingly and realize that we're not finished, we do have a future. we might have a brighter future for our kids than we think. But it's for us to create, like you said, and I think that's a good transition into the Rise Up SJ initiative that maybe some people have not heard of yet. So I reached out to you right after I saw the press release. Why don't you explain what that is, and then in a little bit I'd like to show the video that we made.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity. We're about 3 weeks, maybe going into a month into working through this unprecedented, again, health and economic crisis. So about 3 weeks ago, my days are very different. They've gone from a full calendar to being in isolation and all this physical distancing. And so started to have conversations with some local leaders to say, okay, we can't afford to sit back and wait. So how are we going to recover? And let's start working on that now. So a small group came together to develop a collaborative approach to both social and economic recovery. And it's so critical that those two pieces are together, Greg. So we've come together. We don't have all the answers, but we've come together and we've developed a vision and a mission and a mandate for a group that is going to invite the community to come together in ways that perhaps we've never done before. So we're having conversations about safe and stable and strong and recovery and health outcomes and food and housing security and demand rebound, which is really talking about the economy and the supply chain and liquidity, or making sure businesses have the finances they need to recover, and how all of these are tied together. So the Rise Up network, actually, I was thinking of you, Greg. It's, in a way, I was thinking last night, it's a little bit like B Corp, right? I mean, it's about moving through this world in a way that is inclusive and collaborative and thoughtful and complete, not leaving people behind. So in a nutshell, we've developed this. We believe it's a time where people also need hope and that they need to know we are resilient and strong St. Johners, but it's not a St. John movement. It's a greater regional movement. And look, I'll tell you, in 24, 48 hours, the response has been incredible.
I love that. And just to go back to what you said about the B Corp thing, I just got off an incredible interview like this one right before you dialed in with an economist out of just outside of DC. And he was saying how perhaps after this is all done, the tenets of the B Corp, or the certification and the way B Corp set their businesses up, will probably become the way all businesses should in the future, because it's just good business to talk about these things. So just as a little nod to what you're saying there, it's like there's going to be positive changes that come out of this. That's going to be prosperity, a shared prosperity for all. That is a critical part. We're not growing economically on the backs of others who are being stomped on. That's number one. And it feels like Rise Up St. John is saying, we can rise up, but we're all going to rise up. It's not just about getting the businesses back going on. If that's happening, we got to make sure that our lower income communities are supported, and the not-for-profits. And yeah, I'm excited. So a number of months ago, last year, we helped produce a video, and it was retooled a week ago to fit the themes of Rise Up. And I want to see if you want to watch it with me.
I'd love to watch it. Gives me goosebumps, this one.
Oh, it is good. It is good. So we'll also put a link to the video, because I find with these Facebook streams, they're pretty choppy. So as people are watching this, it might look a little choppy, but we'll also put a link so you can actually see it and share it with the world. So here we go.
Gritty and gracious St. Johners, you welcoming and friendly Maritimers, you beardos, you shaven and you shadowed in-betweens, you young ones, you old ones, you've built this history, you fighters, you flyers, you who stay behind and grin, you shift workers, you 9-to-5s, it's you who've helped us win. You hair cutters, you wood cutters, you glass cutters, you. We see you. We need you. This is your city too. You painters, wallpaperers, you bricklayers who stand. You hockey refs, you bench sitters, and you parents who attend. You single moms, you single dads, you couples with your pets. You grandparents and veterans, lest anyone forget. You rock stars, you hipsters, you're hardy to the bone. You trendsetters, you influencers, this is the seed you've sown. We're all here, we're all now, taking pride in what we are. So we made this to say thank you. Thank you for getting us this far.
Gives me goosebumps, Don.
It's I think it's important in a time like this, Greg, to remember the best, remember the generosity, the kindness. You and I have both been involved with groups and in rooms where hundreds of thousands of dollars are raised in an evening, and the same. So it's important to remember that. And from a leadership perspective, I just did a video to the community, and I said, look, it's the recovery is going to be challenging. It's important, I think, to acknowledge that, there will be many folks in our community that are going through significant challenge right now. And more though than ever, we're going to have to remember, again, just what that video just showed us. We're proud, we're kind, we're generous, we're resilient, and we've risen up in the past, and we're going to come together and rise up again.
Amen. So, Don, what's the best way for the community within the region and without the region get involved? Websites, connections, all that.
Yeah. So riseupstjohn.com is the website. And certainly folks can go there. Riseupsj.com again is the website. So they should go on. They can sign up there. That website is going to continue to evolve over the weeks and months to come. And the network is growing by the hour. As more folks are reaching out. And again, it's critically important at this time that we come together. I just wanted to maybe in our last minute or so just read you the mission, Greg. So the Rise Up Network will ignite our community ecosystem, radically collaborating with citizens, businesses, organizations, and government to drive the kind of results we need to weather the COVID-19 crisis and its follow-on consequences, and supercharge our subsequent recovery in a manner that will cause hope to flourish and our community to thrive. And it's early days, but we're coming together. We're not waiting. And again, this is both social and economic recovery, which spoke to what you mentioned earlier. It's not about one group or one sector thriving and others falling behind. And I don't think we've always done a great job of that, Greg, in our community. So now is a time to rewrite the next chapters.
Yeah, and I would just end on, I sound like a broken record, but measuring the triple bottom line: profit for the health of our companies, people for the health of our society, and the planet for the health of Mother Earth. And if, as a community, think about those three things as metrics of success, things worthy of measure, then I think we'll have a good foothold. So, Mayor Don, thank you. Excuse me so much. I have a cough. I have the cough.
Not that cough. Not that cough. Yeah.
Mind you, I do have a cooler on my front deck filled with Moose Lights and Coronas. Anyhow,
that's a survival pack. That's a maritime survival pack.
So good. Don, take care, man. Thanks for everything that you're doing, and we'll catch up again soon.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Greg.